and welcome to this first look map tour on a new mod map, American Outback, with me, MrSealyp. This is a map located in the American Outback. Buy something on my shoe too. I'm just a young cowboy with a yip and a holler and a bodacious shout. I want to say, thank God I'm a cowboy on this glorious day. Holster those guns, don those cowboys' hats, and make your way to the American Outback. The American Outback. We start facing east on the map, and first impressions are, when I look at the map, it's a kind of Goldcrest Valley-esque type map, and first glances you think it's not that big, there aren't that many fields. Okay, let's kind of have a look. I've had a bit of a whiz round just to orient myself, and I have to say I'm quite impressed. I do like this map. As a PS4 player on FS15, a lot of the maps were open. They had to be because of the computing power. So you've got Westbridge Hills, Westbridge Hills, Sosnovka, Bjornholm were all open. And what we kind of craved for were small, compact, tight lanes, hedges, trees, all that kind of stuff. And after Goldcrest Valley on FS17 was the initial map, we've had a string of small, compact maps with hedges and trees and all that kind of stuff. It's nice to have a big map again, but something different to Goldcrest Valley. It's along those lines, nice big open fields, nice big open spaces. But what I like about this as well, it's a different place in America. I get the impression it's kind of New Mexico type sort of thing, where it's quite arid and dry a lot of the time. Anyway, so we are facing east. We're going to have a quick look around the farm to start off with. I don't know if the farm has a name. I know the map's American Outback, but there's not actually a name for the farm. But we'll have a look around the farm, and then we'll have a quick whiz round. This is going to by no means cover the entire map. I will go around and show the main points. It's a kind of first look, get a feel for it kind of thing. But it is a big map, deceptively big. So what we'll do is head through into the farm area. What I do like about this are these barns, these drive-through barns. I like this idea, I like the design. And when you get an idea of the map, you'll understand why this is going to be really important and really quite helpful. There is a lot of barn space, a lot of storage space here at the main farm. Again, still heading east across the map. And you start off interesting. This is a very case heavy farm. 3 case 1455s we start off with. And we start off with the small is it Farm Tech? Metal Tech trailer. We've got a plough, we've got a cultivator, and we've got a seeder, the Great Plains one. We've also got across the way a case harvester, the bog standard 1660. So it's very case heavy, but as far as machinery goes, that's it. So very quickly into here, there's the map proper, if you want to call it that. We'll have a quick zoom in and a quick whiz round on the map. Down on the southwest corner, the barn itself, the main farm, is kind of southwest-ish, and you've got your fuel point and barns and various different things on here. Sell point for various different things. We've also got our cows, we've got our pigs, chickens are here, and sheep are just a little bit north up here, which we'll have a look at in a minute. I'll say a minute, probably a few minutes now. So southwest corner, we've got the spinnery and a fuel station, gas station. It's American map gas station it is. If we go anti-clockwise, that's the route I'm going to go around when we go around the map. There are a lot of fields. I say a lot of fields. There aren't a lot of fields, but they are big fields. They don't look big on the map, but trust me, when you get on the ground, they are large. You've got a lot of these kind of encircled areas. These are all raised areas, like rocky outcrops. And a lot of these big areas are fields, not grass fields how you're used to seeing them, but are more kind of arid, dry, deserty grass, but they're grass fields nonetheless, and they're not owned by anyone, and there are quite a lot of them. So if you wanted to get busy with the plough, you could get straight out here and onto that. If we head eastwards, like I say, the fields are quite large. Then we come north, big open space here. Again, you could plough a field into that easily. The fields get progressively bigger as you go up the map. The town is kind of central. I'm going to zoom back out again. East, central on the map, and some more fields north. We've got this big watercourse that runs right the way down across diagonally. And up the top end here, you've got a railroad bridge, and road bridge, and it's quite wide. As we keep going west from that railroad bridge, we've got more fields, and we come across to, zoom in a bit, the old grain store, and then we come south. We've got McLean Biogas, which is pretty much a standard biogas plant. We'll have a look at that. We've got the store, we've got the sawmill. Hasn't got a name, it's not Stanton or anything like that. And then as we keep coming south, we then have got across the centre of the map here, well, say centre, we'll zoom back out, it's sort of, well, just south of central. We've got a lot of sell points. These sell points follow a railroad. I don't think there are any trains on it. I think it's like a disused old railroad. It's not like on some of the maps where you've got a lever you can pull and it will send a train off. Nothing like that, but they are dotted along that railroad track, and we will have a look at that in a little bit as well. If we come into here and have a look, there we go. The 3 case tractors, harvester with its header, the metal tech. We've got our cultivator, plough, and seeder, and that's it. Looking in here at prices, I've got this on normal, and they are not high prices. Whether they're average or a little bit, they seem a little bit below average, if I'm honest. And if we scroll across to things like the wool, things like wood chips, and things like silage, it's not mega money for those. So if you think you're going to get rich quick doing wood chipping or silaging, you're going to be out of luck. I get the impression this is going to be an arable farm. Big fields, lots of arable. You might make a bit of money doing animals, but to be fair, this is going to be for big machinery, big tractors. You're going to be getting into your quad tracks, your challengers. With the new Big Bud mod coming out, with all the equipment that's promised to be coming with that mod, or that DLC, sorry, this is going to be the perfect map for that kind of thing. Big open fields, big machinery, processing large quantities of crops at a time. So let's get around this map. Like I said, I'll skip through some of the bits where I'm travelling between, but I will always let you know where I am on the map. So we're still kind of facing east at the farm, and we've got our fuel containers. Like I say, lots of barns all the way around. And I'm going to go kind of anti-clockwise-ish around the map. We've got a barn here for selling grain, bales. We've got our seed refill points and fertiliser refill point, and again, more barns. More barns across the road, which again, the big drive-through barns, I do like that. I love those designs. So let's say we've got here, getting rid of straw and hay. We can put it in there. So if I head south now, onto the main road, we've got directly opposite us here, this is for the cows. I'm going to come around onto here. So on the right hand side of this road, facing south, we have got our dialogue box for cows. So this field out here is going to be the cow pasture. We've got a kind of shed, slurry, manure point, and then this feed trough is it is insane, the length of this feed trough. Massive feed trough. Bunker silo for silage, and then across the other side of the field there, you've got I think a grass and water fill point. Unless this is the water fill point, it might be grass and feed over there. Until we actually try it with anything, it's difficult to tell. It does seem the kind of shape that it might be a water one, although it is earth in the bottom. But anyway, they're around this field here. This is where the cows are going to be, and across this side of the road is where your pigs are going to be, with your various feed points, water points, and if I come a bit further up, I think obviously you've got slurry there. There's a point around the side of the field for let's have a quick look. This is where you do your dialogue, pigs. Now interestingly, there are no gates on any of these, so I think we're just hoping that your animals aren't going to wander off. I hope that's kind of what's going to happen. They shouldn't wander. Let's be honest, where are they going to go? And if I just come around to this way and head a little bit east again, we have got just up here our chickens. It's all very wide, all very open, no worries about getting stuck on hedges and trees and all that kind of stuff. That's the main farm, animal wise. I'm going to head back west a second, and then I'm going to head south and then anti-clockwise round the map. As we come back past where we started from, we've got our unload point here for putting stuff into storage, crops, etc. And we've got our silos here for, there we go, putting back into trailers when we've got a good deal on selling, or for feeding the animals. Again, more barns, more drive-through barns, and we're heading west. So over the first part of the watercourse, there are several bridges that cross this, and it gets wider the further north it goes. And like I say, all these raised areas are kind of rocky outcrops, cacti, I think it's cacti, growing everywhere. And the first of the sell points that we're going to look at very, very quickly very much like Goldcrest Valley, but we've got a railroad line that runs here, and I'm assuming it's disused. It seems very overgrown, and I haven't seen a single train on it yet, or even on the main bit here that seems a little bit more open. Maybe there is on PC. Maybe you have got trains that go across there. I haven't seen any yet. Looking on the map, this one is Tombstone Grains. We're at here. So like I say, you've got Tombstone Grains on the railroad, you've got Outback Grains, and then further along the railroad there's Valley Grains, and then north of the map there's another railroad that runs directly across, which follows across here with the road bridge. There's a railroad that runs across here, which again I assume is disused, and you've got here Old Grain Store, which is some part of the disused railway too. So most of the sell points are on the railroads. That's the first of the sell points. If you go right there, it takes you off the edge of the map. This way, well, not off, it kind of takes you back round, not takes you to the edge of the map, not off it. This is what I'm talking about, these big open fields. Actually, we're going to cut across this one. I've got crop disruption turned off at the moment just for doing the video. There are a lot of these big open areas which aren't owned by anybody. They're okay for cutting, so they're here. Plough them, cut them, do what you like with them, I would imagine. And there are also a few wooded areas. So if you want to do a bit of lumber, there are trees available, various different sizes, etc. if you feel like doing a bit of lumber. Not forestry as such, but you know, you can still do it. So heading south, and then we're going to be heading east again, back over the watercourse. So now we're on our kind of anti-clockwise route around the map, and like I say, we'll cut a few bits out just to jump between places. So we're at the southwest-ish corner of the map. Gas station, plenty of room. if you're going to be moving around big machinery and filling up those gas guzzling machines. Heading slightly south again. On our right here we've got the spinnery. So when you come to sell your wool, this is where you're going to come to. This is your sell point. Selling point for wool. So if we have a quick look on the main map, we are now down here, sort of southwest-ish. That's obviously the southwest corner, southwest of the map. We've only done this bit, and as you can see, it's a big map. It really is huge. Very deceptive when you first look at the map. Back onto the main road. Again, left-hand side, more of that open space that's not owned. There's no contracting jobs on them. It's just grass-ish, grass fields. It does look a bit dry and a bit forlorn, but it definitely is grass. Still heading east, and we've got more of a kind of controlled forested area here on the right hand side, which is the sort of south of me. So if you do want to do proper forestry, lumber, wood chipping, here's where you can do that. Like I say, there are trees dotted all around the map anyway, but this is the more sort of concentrated area of them. I do like the fact as well that there are various different sizes. Excuse me, a lot of the maps have kind of one size, big clumps of them. It's nice to have a few different ones. So, looking north, we've got field number 6 in front of us. On the map, it doesn't look very big, but when you're actually looking at it here, that's a fair size field. The prices aren't too bad on them actually. What I will do is we'll quickly whiz round. Now, from here, look at the main map. And we are down here now, heading towards the southeast corner of the map. I'm going to head up here, rather than going all the way around, because at the end of the day, the fields are fields, and they're big, and there's nothing more of real importance over this side rather than the fields, and the same as heading north up here. They're big fields, so going on that right-hand road all the way up, and believe me, when you turn that corner here, and look that way, that road just goes on forever, straight up the map. It's a long old drive. We've got a few fields around here, another gas station. So we're going to head up this road here, have a quick stop in at field 6 and look at the contracting mission available and what they're paying out for that kind of thing. Then we'll head kind of north up the map through the town and have a look there. I love the textures, I love the colours. I think that's what's nice about this map. Being a new one, being an open one, it's not at all like Westbridge Hills, it's not at all like Goldcrest Valley. I mean, there are some similarities, obviously. It's an American map, it's a big open map, but the textures, the colours, the cacti, you know, everything makes it different. So there we go, 15,000 for a 38-minute contract, so you're going to be looking at what, half that, so maybe about 20 minutes I suppose. 257,000 for a 3.1 hectare field. It's not bad prices actually for the fields. They're not hugely expensive for the size of them, but the hard thing on this map, and it's going to be a hard map to play considering the equipment you start off with, is going to be getting the ball rolling in the first place. How you're going to start making that money. If you can't make money on the wood chips, you can't make too much money on silage, it's going to be turning over fields, repeatedly turning over fields. And not that my advice counts for anything, you're going to do whatever you want to do. If it was me, if I play on this map, I'm going to get the plough out and find as many of those open field areas and plough them out, get my own fields going, find the most profitable crop at the moment and sell a load of that, and then gradually start picking up fields as we go along. That's kind of how I would look at doing it, but again, that's just me. How you would do it is entirely up to you. Right, we're going to cut across here in a second. So a quick jaunt north, very, very short, and then we're heading west again. And you can see the railway line. Disused, you've got a rail, excuse me, a tunnel at this end and a tunnel at the other end, either side of the map. So it may well be on PC you're going to get trains thundering along here. Like I say, on PS4 I haven't seen one yet, and there's no lever for sending off a train or anything like that. But here's the first of those sell points along, this was Valley Grains, I think it was, this one. Same as it was the other end, Tombstone Grain. But the reason I've come this way is for something that's just off the end of here. This is what makes me think it's a kind of New Mexico type thing, is the architecture. This old kind of derelict church here, just, I don't know, the architecture makes me think kind of Mexican, that kind of New Mexico. But the more important thing is this, a nugget. There are nuggets on this map. You have discovered a gold nugget. Now, it says there are 99 more. That's interesting. You found 10 gold nuggets so far. You found all gold nuggets. Okay then. Spoiler alert. Well, that was interesting. On the map, it would appear that at this old derelict church, this little bit here is implying it is a gold-rich vein in the ground where people have been prospecting, I suppose. That one nugget there, no wonder I hadn't found any more. In my whole drive around the map I hadn't come across another nugget, and I drove past here and saw that and thought, oh, when I do the map tour I'll show that one. That just said 1 nugget, 10 nuggets, all gold nuggets. That 1 nugget has just made me $1 million. So if you're worried about how you're going to get your farm going and you want your nugget, come to the derelict church just here on the map, just here. And here you shall make your fortune, should you choose. There you go. Saves me doing a gold nugget video as well. Well, that was unusual. Right, heading north now, up towards the town. And these fields are getting progressively larger. Like I say, on the map they don't look big, but looking that way, yeah, that's a big field. Now the town has got various banks, and I think there's an egg sale point in there as well. But if I carry on heading north on the outskirts, the western edge of the town, we come to that most important of places, especially if we're into our livestock, and that's Emerson's. It's an American map, it has to have an Emerson's, and rather than having that bull up on the roof, it's right there in front. So here on the western edge of the town is Emerson's livestock market, with your sell point, your buy point, sell point. If you're going to be doing livestock in a vehicle, this is where you want to come, and you can do all of it here. Wonderful, Emerson's. A map's not a map without an Emerson's, I don't think. I do like that. We are skirting very briefly up the outside of the town. It's a fairly large town. I do like across all the roads the American flag bunting that's hanging up everywhere. And again, on the right hand side, another one of those huge fields that doesn't belong to anyone. Do what you like with it. Run wild, plough, make bales, do whatever you like. No one owns it, it's yours. Finders keepers and all that. So we're now heading east again, and then we will soon be heading north again. The edge of the map is way off over there, big field to our right. I'm now going to head north. Again, between some rather large fields. So coming up on the northern edge of the map, and there's the railroad I was talking about on the northern part. Bump over those. And there's a kind of, well, not an abandoned ranch, but there's a ranch. Nothing here. A couple of barns. If you wanted to stick some placeables for various different things on here, you can make this a separate farm, I guess. Store some vehicles up here, maybe some refill points, slurry point. You can put various different things up here, should you choose to do so. I suppose being such a big map, you're going to need some other areas for storing equipment. If you're going to be working on fields on the northern end of the map, you don't want to be driving from your farm that's right down on that southwest corner. So now heading west again, and here's the bridge. Railroad bridge to the left, road bridge here on the right, and this is quite an expanse, I have to say. The details and the landscape, and it's a very flat map, but having all these kind of rocky outcrops everywhere breaks up that landscape. It makes it a bit more interesting. I'm liking this. I'm thinking, like, for doing big machinery stuff, if this is what you've been waiting for, a big machinery map, we kind of got teased a little bit with, was it Rattlesnake Valley? I think they did a kind of little short video, and I think PC might have got that already. But for PS4, if you've been waiting for a big map, if this is your thing, you're going to like this map. You really are. I know I've already said that, but honestly. So again, another kind of forest area up the top of the map. We're now heading to the northwest corner of the map. So there's a few trees up here. So again, if forestry is your thing and you want to do some wood chipping, there is plenty of wood around the map to be doing stuff. You're certainly not going to get bored moving around the landscape, that's for definite. Another one of those fields. And just down there is that northern sell point. Was it Old Mill? I can't remember what it was now. Let me just have a quick look on the map. It was Old something. Old Grain Store. So we're now up here, heading down behind the old grain store. The railroad's running along here now. So the old grain store's here, which we're running down the back now. These two fields here, 18 and 19, are utter monsters. So, sell point to the left, just there, and I'm going to go, that's 19 I think it is, very long thin one, and this one's a little bit wider, but no less small. You can see by the fact we're now driving across the top of it, how wide this one is. That's going to eat into your seed and your fertiliser and slurry and manure and whatever else you choose to use. So we're now going to head south, back down the map, between these rather large fields. It is incredibly open. I mean, you look, wow. Towards McLean or McLean? McLean I think it's supposed to be, but it depends where you come from in the world how you pronounce it. Some people say McLean, some people say McLean. The biogas plant. If you've seen one biogas plant, you've seen them all. There aren't many differences on different maps. There are a few little things here and there which are slightly different, but it's your standard biogas plant. You've got your bunker silos, you've got your slurry tank just over here, and you've got your Flegel anaerobic digesters just here. In essence, your sell point. That's the biogas plant. I don't know where the traffic's gone. Traffic is set on, there doesn't seem to be a lot of it. Maybe there's something they know that I don't. What time of day is it? I'll say if it's nearly noon, they probably don't go out in the heat. Now, if we turn right here, there's another small little town, very much like Goldcrest Valley, the buildings on there. And we've got on our left hand side our sawmill, doesn't have a particular name to it, but we've got a wood sell point just this side, and just over the building, just over there, there is the wood chip sell point, but that's the sawmill. Waffles if you fancy them, just there. If you haven't had breakfast yet. We've got a gas station on the left, and we've got our shop on the right. Our trusty Morgan's Massive Motors. So for buying and selling, quite a big open area as well, so when you're buying your big equipment, there's plenty of space for it to appear. And then south again. Our almost last stop on the first look map tour on American Outback is the sheep. We didn't mention the sheep, so here we are. And there's a field over to the left there, so if you need grass for feeding them, not a problem. So here's your buying and selling point for your sheep. Interesting loading and unloading ramp. Don't think there's a trailer that will even unload to that, I'm not too sure. I haven't actually been able to locate, I'm not too sure. No, I've done it again, haven't I? I did this when I did the Old Stream Farm. Yeah, so just here we've got our, is that water? Water or feed, and then around here the other. So whether it's grass or water, there's your two feed points and water points. Here's where your wool pallets will appear once they have produced enough. I'm driving around this thinking, where does the straw go for bedding? You don't need it for the sheep, just the pigs and the cows. So that's the last stop off, something to look at. That's the sheep. Come back out of here and head south again. Back over the railroad line. The middle of the three sell points on this southern railroad line. Nip across there, and we are back to the farm from whence we came, where we began our tour. There's the farmhouse where we started, back through to the barn areas, and where this trusty steed began from. I've just driven the plough. Genius. Lucky I've got some money to replace it or get it fixed. And that, albeit a rather whistle-stop tour around the map, tried to show you the main things that are around, and saved myself doing a gold nugget video. If you watch this, you won't have a problem now. That's it. That's the first look map tour on American Outback. It's a big map, big fields, big equipment. It's going to be a cracker of a map. If you like using all that kind of stuff, you're going to love this map. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope it's been useful, informative. If it has, give us a like. If you don't subscribe yet, please do. If you want to leave a comment, feel free. And if you want to share the video, please be my guest. Whatever you should choose to do, thanks for watching.